Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Old school NFL matchup. Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49'ers. Well, we haven't cared about this game in about 30 years or so.
Yeah.
And now it's relevant again. It's been Aikman. I mean, even last, when was it? Whenever the Bucks were playing, the Bucks and the Cowboys were playing, and they're throwing back to old clips of, Joe Montana and Steve Young and Troy Aikman. And it's kind of like, there's not a single thing. Like, video had just come out of the black and white ages into color. Those are the last video clips that they could show that were relevant for these teams matching up in important games. And now, it looks like it could be a battle. If Dallas can play the way that they played against Tampa, which is a massive if, because the team that they're playing against, that ain't Tampa. San Francisco 49ers, that ain't the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're a very different team. So I think it's very easy to say, oh, man, if Dallas can do that again. Yeah, they're doing it again against a very different opponent. And it's going to be really interesting to see how both teams match up, because they are both very talented, very good teams. There's no doubt on the roster side of things, these are two stacked teams.
That's it. Yeah, I think they were – oh, sorry, Joe.
No, I was just going to say that I think with this game, of all the games that we have been talking about thus far, the one common thing that all these games have in common are head coaches are all offensive-minded coaches. Not one of these guys, any one of these coaches out here are from the defensive side of the ball. So obviously we see now how everything's flipped and how points, running up the score, getting those touchdowns out there is what's happening, and the whole NFL is just changing their mindset on. Now this game is the closest one out of all of them. It's San Fran -3.5, -3.5. That's close, guys. That's a field goal. We're talking about a field goal right now. Yep. So, yes, did we jump in a time machine? Are we back in 1995? Is that what we're, Fox is in heaven right now. We got, America's team in San Fran, the battles that we used to have when we were growing up. We would see this we couldn't get away from San Francisco and Dallas when we were watching football in the 90s. It was just, that's what everybody wanted to see. And that's what we got. Now we have that matchup again. And in this game, let's be honest. For Dallas on the defensive side of the ball, Tim, you mentioned it the other night when we were texting. That one guy that's in the middle, he's an eraser. He is a difference maker on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not going to even go there. You guys know how I love my beloved Miami Hurricanes, but you guys in Baltimore had a guy that played linebacker for you that is basically, he was the eraser in his time when he was playing. Ray Lewis was in the ball game. You had to know where he was at all times when you try to do anything offensively, because he would set you back. He would know what you were doing before you were going to do it. Micah Parsons right now is playing football like as if he is that man possessed and trying to do something out there. He's the real deal. He's going to be a difference maker out there. But still, I'm sorry. You're not going to sit there and tell me you're going to slow down the 49ers. It ain't going to happen.
Well, okay, so that's we've all – Purdy – like this will truly show what that man's made of, because he has. Seahawks. We love our Seattle fan base here, but this is a different defense. So even if you look at there's like team by team comparison, these are very evenly matched teams, except for points allowed per game. Yep. And Dallas is allowing 14 points a game. San Fran's allowing 23. Is Purdy enough to make up a 9-point differential when they're playing just average out over the year? Now, the thing they have going for them is passing yards allowed. Dallas 351 yards, a game. So they let you pass on them. So it's just going to be whether or not Purdy can overcome your Parsons and actually make some big plays happen. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think it will. I think the matchup's going to be really interesting because, you look at these teams and, they want to do similar things.
Yeah.
Each of them coming into this game is going to want to do similar things. It's going to be a healthy dose of running the ball. On the Niners side, it's largely going to be Christian McCaffrey. On the Dallas side, it should be largely Tony Pollard. It's probably going to be largely Ezekiel Elliott or some split, but it really should be Tony Pollard. But the idea is, okay, we're both going to run it. We both have strong offensive lines. We both want to push the ball downfield. And it's just going to be whoever can really kind of impose their will. I would be shocked if this was a blowout. The only thing that I would be very careful of if I am Dallas is not to come in overly confident because of the type of win you just had. Right? We were talking a little bit ago about, I don't think the Chiefs are going to overlook the Jags because they just saw the type of win that the Jags had. Dallas has to be careful that they don't come in overconfident because of the type of game that they just had and feeling like, oh man, we're the dominant team, because you're going to run into a buzzsaw if you come in and you're not prepared from the first snap to go against a strong team.
Real quick. So with what you're saying, 2 weeks ago, Dallas did what? Going into the playoffs, they looked horrendous.
Horrible.
Next thing you know, the worst thing that they did this past weekend was their field goal kicker missed 4 extra points. And then like ESPN, all the the big talking heads were going bananas because now they got America's team, they got their team, and they can talk about them. But which team is going to show up on Sunday? The one that played 2 weeks ago, or the one that did what they did last weekend?
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's true. I mean, because they've shown, unfortunately, I know Dallas fans don't like it sometimes, the way that I talk about the team, but the reality is they play down to their competition the vast majority of the time. And they find ways to lose games that they should be winning without trouble. And look, they played a great game against Tampa. It only matters if they can turn around and play an even better game against San Francisco.
Yep.
You can't take a step back. You need to take a step forward. It won't even be, you can't even do the same because you won't be able to do the same. The things that worked for you against Tampa, they're just not going to work against San Francisco. And the truth of the matter also, I think at this point, there's enough evidence to point at this. They're not the same coaches either. Todd Bowles and Kyle Shanahan are not in the same league as a head coach right now. And so when you look at what's working against Tampa, what adjustments are they making? San Francisco is making adjustments in game constantly. And so what was working for you isn't going to work for you all game. They're going to make the adjustments that they need in order to be able to turn that against you. They're a really good team. I mean, right this minute, I don't know. San Francisco could possibly be the best team in the NFL. They would have a strong argument right now to be the best team in football. 100%. And the way you can know is who of the teams that are left, who would feel confident going into a game against them? I can't picture anyone feeling very good about going into that game.
Going against the Niners?
Yeah.
The only team that I could see that would feel that way would be Kansas City, and that's it. That's the only team that I would think that would be like, okay, going into this game, I think they actually have a shot to do something. That's it. That would be the only ones. Only because I know that it's so hard to stop them offensively. Even though their defense is as good as it is, that would be the only factor in them.
Yeah, no, agreed. And it's, this Sunday night game is going to be, it has the potential to be at least a really, really good matchup. And whoever wins that game, I got to feel like they're going to deserve it.